Now streaming is the documentary about legendary cult film actress Tura Satana entitled Tura. This is a film I've been wanting to see for a very long time. I'm a big fan of Russ Meyer films and Tura Satana, who's best known in pop culture as Varla from Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, but she was in other films. She didn't do a tremendous amount of on-screen work. She was in some TV episodes. I believe she's in Irma la Douce. She's in Some Man from U.N.C.L.E. She's in The Astro Zombies by Ted Michaels. Not as much film as we all wish she would have been in, because on screen she was a riveting, powerful, sexy, dynamic presence, and one of those people who you just wish had done a lot more, but she did what she did, and what she did was pretty wonderful. So this documentary tells her story from birth as she believed to be Japanese slash Caucasian American, growing up on the West Coast and dealing with a lot of racism and physical abuse and assault at a very young age, and how that shaped the ferocious, very individual person she wound up being. And eventually she wound up being a dancer, a stripper, burlesque dancer, and then going into films and just working many, many years until basically going into the private sector, and then later being rediscovered through the cult appreciation for Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, which if you've never seen is just one of the great cult movies of all time. And this documentary gets into that. Now, it was made after she passed away, unfortunately, so there's not a lot of firsthand dialogue with Tura. Most of her dialogue is taken from things that she had written and narrated by Margaret Cho, but you do see Tura Satana's two daughters speak a lot. You see various co-stars. One of her co-stars, the guy who played the vegetable, I believe he was called, in Faster Pussycat, is in this, which I don't think I've seen him in too many interviews. You see some archival interviews with Tura Satana and like a phone interview she had done, and it's mostly people talking about her. It has a good amount of photos I had never seen, family photos, personal photos over the years, and film clips. Not a lot of film clips from Faster Pussycat, unfortunately, due to rights issues. I think it's mostly just pulled from the trailer, which is often how they have to do that with documentaries when you're not able to license for financial reasons or for permission reasons. But it makes really good use of what it has to work with, and it tells a pretty amazing story. Now, there are some aspects of her life that personally I would have loved to have seen more about. I feel like I had read something about an autobiography or biography coming, and I'm sure that will get into all the details. The main core of this film, and unfortunately of what formed her as a person, was racism at a very young age, because it was not that long after World War II, and a lot of Americans hated anybody who looked Japanese, let alone maybe was Japanese. The whole internment camp thing, and a sexual assault at a very young age by multiple men when she was very young, which was partly racially motivated as well, and how that turned her into this take no prisoners, I'm going to learn judo, I'm going to make damn sure I can defend myself going forward, and I'm going to make sure that I find all these guys and take care of them. Now, that was the one aspect of the film I wish they'd gotten into a little more detail on, because I've heard so much about that, and that's sort of like the big revelation in this film, is that she was this woman who was brutalized and then later gained the strength, physical and emotional, to basically give back to those guys many times over what they gave her. And they talk about the first instance of that, but then they just sort of let it go with you. And then she eventually found the rest of them. That's something I would be more interested in. It may have skewed this film more toward a pretty gruesome revenge tale, but it was very interesting. There's a lot that I did not know about her and a lot I had never seen before. It was really interesting to hear from her children about what kind of a mother she was. And to me, the biggest bombshell, it wasn't the assault and revenge, because I'd heard about that. To me, the biggest bombshell, which I'm not going to give away here, is who her eldest daughter's father was. At one point, the film really leads us all, including her, to believe that her father was a very well-known entertainer of the 60s and beyond. And later, at the very end of the movie, it is revealed in all likelihood who her father was. And when they reveal it, it is beyond shocking to me, if you're a fan of, old showbiz. And when they reveal it, because the whole time I'm like, yeah, she kind of looks like Tura. When they reveal allegedly who her real father was, you totally see him in her face, and it's shocking. And it's the kind of male face that most women would not want to resemble. but Tura's daughter pulls it off. So in available streaming, I watched it on Amazon Prime. It's available as a digital rental or download, but also it's on some streaming services. Tura.